Hello, it's Monday, January 27th, and that means two things. It's very hard to tell when you've crossed a point of no return. Usually it's when you've walked so far you can't see the point anymore. It's also time for the lighting industry news brief brought to you by Keystone Tech and their direct drive emergency tube. This is certified under UL 924. It's a Type B tube. It is fully compliant with all those needs and standards. It also incorporates the battery directly into the tube format, so you don't have to stash that in the trough or at all. It also comes with Keystone's Color Select, which means you can satisfy your customer on the spot, save space on shelves, save SKUs. That's keystonetech.com. Light made easy. Let's get into the news because we have a new White House, which means we have new executive orders coming ahead of even Congress being in session. Two that might affect the lighting industry. I'm going to say might because executive orders are weird sometimes. Most infrastructure funds have been paused. Those may come back under new appointees. They may not. And light bulbs are listed among consumer goods that should not be limited by energy requirements. But again, executive orders are weird in how they get implemented. The IES has 8 standards up for review, everything from an recommended practice for parking lots to a tech memo on the chromaticity coordinate shift are accepting comments until the 3rd. Zumtobel has ended work at Les Andelys. That's right, they are laying off 80 employees and shuttering a factory in France. Speaking of the French, Fonroche is opening a new plant in Fort Worth, Texas. This is a 20,000 square foot facility that makes solar area lighting. The US DOE has awarded $11 million to state, local, and tribal energy projects. These are new recipients of the Energy Efficiency Conservation Block Grant Program. LSI is going to be issuing a dividend this quarter, another nickel per share. Acuity is raising their quarterly dividend to 15 cents per share. Sales are down at Signify. $6 billion is a 6% sales decline. Signify will be cutting jobs as a result. 2,500 people will be out of work, which is more than the 1,000 they planned on laying off. Dan Holliday, a shareholder and board member at Light Science Tech, has increased his stake in the company. He has gone from 9% 10% ownership. LEED highlights 7 products. These new products align with the values of LEED version 5. And the NAED, the National Association of Electrical Distributors, has donated $5,000 to the American Red Cross in response to LA wildfires and the conference they had in California at the same time those fires were burning. In rep agency updates, New Line will be distributing new garden products in Canada. In legal news, Signify and Keystone are already talking settlements. Both parties held a formal settlement conference before a judge, and Luminex has sued Signify. This concerns CCT selection tech. In events and webinars, you can save the date for Canada Light Expo 2025. That's November 12th and 13th in Toronto. ArcLight is seeking speakers right now. That deadline is February 7th. The IES conference has extended its call for research and posters. You now have until the 27th of February to get in on that. And Indoor AgCon 2025 has announced its education tracks. That's going on in March, but the full schedule of events is now published. WAC has now formed the WAC Group, which is a brand name for smart fans and lighting. NOARC has partnered with Chint. This is a new partnership for smart energy management. The PNNL has published a review on privacy concerns for smart grids. This academic paper addresses options to maintain privacy as more data from connected sources becomes available. Delta has partnered with BIOS, which is to say that in-flight lighting will be made available for circadian entrainment. Qantas has already done this, actually. Smart baby bassinets are under fire for a rug pull monthly fee. There is a backlash from very tired snoo owners That's the parents, not the infants, over new monthly fees to maintain core functionalities of these cribs that are connected to the internet. Google has launched Gemini AI on Home, so the new Home Assistant with generative modeling is now on multiple devices for smart home owners. And Samsung is adding AI to SmartThings, the SmartThings platform that Samsung owns, will now also have generative modeling for routines. Those features will roll out over the next year. In R&D, we have a new study for glazing for circadian light. This is related to window treatments and how you need to reconsider them for occupant wellness. And we have a new novel technology that uses near-infrared and violet laser pulses or a fiber spectrometer, which allows you to measure light outputs and color wavelengths out of a number of different things. On the dark side of the news, we have Colorado launching a dark sky program at 12 state parks. Dalian Maritime U is modeling light pollution and how to combat it. We have light pollution causing stranding in young puffins. Underwater light pollution experts held meetings with peers and parliamentarians in the UK during their Evidence Week. The Universitaria di Bologna has begun a shift work and cancer study. Sisters, Oregon is now a dark sky community. Okeechobee County, Florida has changed their land development rules to reduce light pollution. North Dakota is proposing new migratory bird rules for lighting. An LDS temple in Camas, Washington will go ahead after environmental review. New Groveland, Florida Community Center is boasting dark sky lighting. And in Cambridgeshire in the UK, their new LED streetlights don't actually provide adequate spread. Coverage is wrong. I don't like it. Causing complaints. On the horticultural side of things, we have Nature's Miracle set to buy Pangea. Canada is funding agricultural innovations. Exca has picked Solum for their cannabis farms. We have pesticide free becoming a winning marketing move for indoor produce. And Terra Alta, West Virginia youth centers have begun vertical farming. In recommended reading, all these links are on nailed.org, along with so many more things. We can talk about the fact that unbanning incandescence isn't actually as simple as writing an executive order. We have a recap of the work of the Bipartisan Infrastructure Act so far, a look at Tucson's Neon Museum. We have the history of vertical farming, accuracy in photometrics, IoT for the energy market, LED beating HPS for growing. We have a fact check on a new energy rules lawsuit. We have what's up with the stock price at semi-LEDs, the talk of rewilding the night, the science behind heat control for LED. We have Matter and IoT islands. We have ultrasonic sensors maybe replacing PIR and microwave options. That's passive infrared. Avoid these 5 mistakes in outdoor smart lighting. We have tunable light for schools. We have supplementing daylight in high ceiling areas. We have layering light and how AI is bad for how you think. In local news, the University of Kentucky has held a safety caucus. UC Davis hosts their annual safety walk. Northeast U has completed renovations. And Memorial U has been found to have deferred key maintenance on exterior lighting in favor of laptops and a tractor. Albuquerque, New Mexico will be renovating public housing. Fort Francis, Ontario's streetlights can't stand the cold and will flicker for hours as they warm up at night. As a resident of Fort Francis, don't worry too much. As a former resident of Fort Francis, I should say, don't worry too much. They'll tear up that street in 2 years because they let lumber trucks run down Main Street. It's fine. Wildwood, New Jersey improves security on their boardwalk. Amsterdam, New York is already saving money on switch and streets to LED. San Luis, Arizona has completed 18 streetlight projects, which is to say 18 individual streetlights. They got switched out. Gary, Indiana is switching out their street lighting. Florida is frustrated over school start times changing and what that means for lighting requirements around schools. The Minnesota State Fair has upgraded their lighting, and that means tickets are more this year. Those jerks. The longest cross-country ski trail in the maritime provinces of Canada is on PEI, and they are adding 13 kilometers of lighting to it. Roswell, Georgia a resident of Roswell, Georgia, has had their lighting gear stolen by porch pirates. Oh, the irony. And if you've been to Epcot this week, the German pavilion had an issue with strobing lights. Probably also drivers getting too cold. Probably also that, actually. The province of Tamil Nadu in India has passed a new lighting requirement for security in public spaces. Sydney, Australia has signed a smart city deal, and Peterborough in the UK has set a new net zero plan. On the people side of things, Eric Rondelot has announced early retirement from Signify. The WAC Group has named Keith Eagle as their Vice President of Business Development. The Barron Lighting Group has promoted Henry Lozano to the Director of Product Management. Piero Gandini has been appointed to the Executive Chair of Floss B&B Italia. Abby Schneiderwind has been named the Specification Sales Manager at Cusco. NAMRA has named their first Lighting Advisory Council. And we have four new appointments at Leviton Canada. And things you can make. You can turn an old fence post into a light fixture. You can use old pallet racks for warehousing. You can make your own glowing strontium illuminate. You can also print a caustic lens hollow clock or an addressable LED clock. You can play Tetris on an LED matrix, or you can just make a motion-controlled LED matrix so you know how the gyros in phone games work. Anyway, I have been Scott Wachter. I want to thank you for your time, your attention. I want to thank our sponsors at Halco, Light Efficient Design, Leadvance, Light Fair, Keystone, and Olympia. Olympia's on board this year, thanks to them. Otherwise, have a great week. Enjoy the music. See ya.
Long time ago, on the Isle of San Juan, two armies stood toe to toe, and all's not well on the 49th parallel in imbroglio between pig and potato, and it's not fine for a poor sign to dine on Yankee Spud. That's out of order. And a shot rang out. Last breath snorts from us now. Cry havoc, let free the dogs of war. Try to organize for war. Tell us what we'll be fighting for. Withdraw the northwest border. Robert, where's your rules of order? Robert, where's your rules of order? In a far-off Pacific Channel, distant corner of a conquered land, British frigates wait, cannon at the red day, digging ramparts under Robert's command. Our destiny is manifest. Digging, boys, this is Bunker Hill. In a far-off burg, diplomats debate for this isle how many are killed. Try to organize for war. Tell us what we'll be fighting for. position of the Boundary Commission, who owns a little dot on the ocean. They debate the facts like bureaucrats, call the question, carry the motion. Long time ago, on the Isle of San Juan, two armies, they stepped back. And to this day, on the Isle of San Juan, over U.S. Park flies a Union Jack. Try to organize for war. Tell us what we'll be fighting for. Way to draw the northwest border. Robert, where's your rules of order? 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 Robert, where's your rules of A long time ago, on the Isle of San Juan, one soldier quits the field, and he went home, took off his uniform. War's adjourned, but nothing seems real.